Can we put hands together for Danny Mills?
Well, firstly, thank you all for coming. Without people like yourselves, kids football doesn't exist, doesn't run, and falls apart. It's good to see some of you here. Hopefully that's not because of the weather that's called off all the games this time of year. I'm sure that's played a big part in it. But obviously I've been involved now in obviously football for a long time. Going back to age 5, 6, started that sort of level in the park, obviously went on through the system, through the youth system, as it was then, into professional sport, professional football. Then came out of it early injured, went into TV, radio, media, etc. Then got involved in other stuff. I've got 3 kids or 3 boys that have played, and a daughter as well, better not forget her. My eldest is now 15, so I've been through the system with him for probably the last 10 years. Seen grassroots right from the very, very beginning, all the way through. He's now gone into running and taking a different path, and that's his choice. I've got a lad that plays, 11-year-old, that plays for at Leeds Academy. So I've seen that for the last 4 or 5 seasons. Different side of youth football, if you like. I've got a younger lad at 9 that just plays his club football in the local leagues. So I'm still very much involved in all of those things. Of course, I then got involved in the FA Commission, looking at the future of English football. What is right, what is wrong. There's an awful lot right. I think we got criticised very, very early on. A lot of negativity. There's 2 huge parts to what we talked about in the Commission. There's obviously the professional game, and then there's obviously the amateur game and kids football. And just talking to one of the coaches out the back, and for me there are 3 different entities of football. There's the professional game, which should almost be completely separate from anything else and on its own. It's high level, it's a business, it's run, it's professional athletes doing what they do, and winning is everything. Adults football, amateur level, is then slightly different. You deal with adults in a different way to you deal with kids. And then we have kids football. And the 3 are obviously linked by football, by that little round ball. But they're all so different. And they have to be treated completely different. What is right for Mourinho, Alex Ferguson, Angelotti, whoever it may be, is not right for 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds on a Sunday morning on park pitches. And as adults sometimes, I think we look at our kids' football through our own eyes, not through our kids' eyes, and not through what they want. And I think that's where things like today are vitally important. The chances, and this is not trying to be negative, but the chances of kids making it through to play at a professional level are ridiculously slim. You've probably got more chance of winning the lottery than you have of becoming a professional footballer. As a player at the top level. I'm talking maybe Championship or Premier League. The odds are against you right from the very, very beginning. And if anybody that you know, any of your teams or in your league, if one player from your league makes it to go on and play at the highest level, you'll be very, very lucky to know that person. So where does that leave kids football? What is it about? For me, kids football is about enjoyment. It's about having fun. It's about socially inclusive, getting to know your mates, different people, you play with people from different schools, meeting lots of new friends, it's about being healthy. But most importantly, fun and self-improvement are the 2 key things. Realistically, you can ask questions later and we'll come back at the end of the day, but I'm pretty much sure in all your leagues that are competitive, you pretty much know within 2 or 3 teams who's going to win the league every year. Am I right? Just quickly, is that generally the case? You know who the top teams are. So therefore, when we talk about winning and competition, and why is it important? If we know who's going to win the league, Premier League's no different. We know who's going to be the top, give or take, 4 teams-ish. We know that Leicester, Burnley, are not going to challenge and win the Premier League. It's simply not going to happen. So kids football is the same. So why are they playing every week? You know, kids, there's teams, they go sometimes, they don't win for 3 or 4 weeks, but they turn up, they train, because they enjoy it, and they just want to play. And I think over the past few years, when we talk about taking competition, especially out of football, I think people get a little bit confused about what competition is. Wanting to win a league is different. You tend to find adults want to win the league. Adults want the trophy at the end of the season. They want their team to win. And you might play 17 games, play great football, really good, entertaining, kids enjoying themselves, passing the ball, playing in the right manner, the right spirit. And suddenly you've got 3 games to go, and you play against your rivals, and you think, oh now we have to win these next 2 or 3 games. And your mentality changes, your philosophies change, and it goes out the window, and suddenly it becomes all about winning. And it's not about those kids playing. There's a pressure on those kids not to make mistakes, not to do the things they were good at all season long, because we are so desperate to win that trophy and win that league. Kids football is always competitive. Adults football is always competitive. It's human nature. You can't stop it. Whatever happens, if you're in the playground, it's competitive. If you play on a Saturday or Sunday, wherever a friendly game, it's still competitive. Kids want to win. And the greatest example of that is kids are very, very honest. They also like competition, and they like a challenge. If you go to a park, and certainly this is the case when I was a kid, and I still watch it now, and you watch the kids in the playground sometimes, you'll always have, and the kids know who the better players are. All the better players don't play on the same team. They'll always pick maybe the 2 best players to be 2 different captains, and they'll have a pick each to pick whoever it is. If there's an odd number, not a problem. Kids don't care. They'll play 5 on 6, no issues. If they are playing 5 on 6 and the 5 are winning, and another kid comes in to join in, kids don't play 6 on 6, they play 5v7. Or they'll say, you know what, we'll give you a 2-goal head start, or you can have a rush keeper, or nearest one back, or whatever it might be. Kids will always be competitive, and kids will always be very, very fair. And I think we forget that sometimes as adults. We think everything has to be right, got to be 6v6, got to be this, got to be that. It doesn't. So there will always be competition, even in training, even in friendlies. If it's a friendly league, there will always be competition. But taking that element of competition away from a league, or a cup competition sometimes, allows your players to develop, gives them the opportunity to express themselves, gives them the opportunity to make mistakes. And that's the key. We have to allow our kids to make mistakes. So often I've seen, right from the low levels, goalkeeper used to roll the ball out, centre back, defender, doesn't control it properly, centre ball nips in, goal, parents, sidelines, coaches, boots it next time, get rid of it, don't play short, get it up the other end of the pitch, goalkeeper, hump it down the pitch, one big boot, centre forward, smash goal, way, everyone claps. Really? Is that really what we want to teach our kids? And that annoyed me for some time, and that's why we did a lot of work about the new rules of having to roll the ball out from the back and people drop it off. To encourage play, give kids an opportunity. If you don't give them the chance to improve, don't give them the tools to improve, they won't. So kids, though, you have to force things sometimes. You have to manufacture it, and you have to manipulate it. And that's not always easy, because people don't always see the bigger picture. They don't see why you're doing things. And it's the culture in this country that we play what I call no-risk football. And that's right to the very, very top. That's right to the England team. We don't like to make mistakes. We don't see defenders doing Cruyff turns or step overs in the box. We don't see them playing 1-2s on the edge of the 18-yard area. Why? Possibly not good enough. Not technically good enough. But why they're not good enough? Because from kids, and this is how I was brought up and taught, you're not encouraged to do it. You do it once, you make a mistake, you never do it again. That's it. Don't ever do it. When I was growing up, even at academy level, as an apprentice, pass the ball back with the outside of your foot, you got taken off. It was like, you don't do that. Stop being flash. It was ridiculous. And that's only 20 years ago. You know, and that culture, there's still some of that culture that still exists. You know, we want our kids to express themselves, and I think you'll see some of the futsal demos today, which I'm a massive advocate of. I think it's fantastic. And it's not just the skills. Futsal on its own, for me, doesn't work. Football mixed in with regular coaching and regular games does work. A mix of the two. And I think that's very, very important. You still have what I call normal football, if you like. So kids can use those skills in proper game situations. So I think there are so many tools available to people nowadays. There's a lot of information, but it's difficult. You know, you all give up your time, you've all given up your Sunday today. I'm sure you all give up Saturdays, Sundays, weeknights, not just game time and training sessions, emails, fixtures, pitches, organisation, all those sort of things. And I'm pretty sure you feel underappreciated a lot of the time, you know, especially some parents, other teams, you know, whoever it may be. But without you guys, without people like yourselves, grassroots football would not exist. First I thank you all for that, because it's a massive part of English football, a massive part of the culture of English football. It's starting to dwindle slightly, social, economic reasons, whatever, PlayStations, Xboxes, it's life. Life moves on, life changes, and we all have to accept that. That's not a problem. But kids always want to play outside. They always want to play football. Now, they maybe don't have as many English idols as they used to. It's now Messi, Ronaldo, and Neymar, and Hazard, and whoever else. And that's great. You know, I remember being a kid and playing in the park and wanting to be Ruth Lillard. Not quite sure it was ever going to happen. Never quite managed the dreadlocks. But it was those inspirational moments. You know, Italia United, Euro '98, and all those moments that you look at and kids want to emulate, and you want to be, and you just want to enjoy yourself and have fun. And I think if we remember that, and if we remember that you're in control of your team, you decide your philosophy for your team, how they're going to play, how the kids enjoy football. And yes, you want to win. Yes, you want them to improve. But ask the kids sometimes what they want. You know, and try and encourage the parents sometimes. And sometimes that means having a meeting with the parents and sitting there, right, this is going to be our philosophy at the start of the season, and this is why. And sometimes have meetings and reiterate that time and time again. We're all guilty. Whether we've seen the game or whether we haven't seen the game, whatever. First question we ask, did you win? Yes, well done, brilliant, well done, son, daughter, brilliant, fantastic. It should be, how did you play? Did you enjoy it? How did you get on? You know, because little Johnny, left back, yeah, Dad, we won 4-0. Oh, brilliant, well done, son. Sorry I wasn't at the game, but brilliant, you won 4-0. Well, Johnny hasn't touched the ball. Touched it twice, maybe. That's it. But you've got a star player up front that scored 4 goals and the team's won. So Johnny gets all the applauded from his dad, brilliant. Next week, how did you get on? Oh, we lost. Oh, come on, you need to do better. You know, think about the kids and how they feel. And yeah, kids get disappointed when you lose. You know, my boys have missed penalties and, you know, they've cried and all the rest of it. And it's part of life. You know, it's part of growing up. Losing, winning and losing, it happens. You know, we have to accept that in every walk of life, whatever it is. But kids bounce back quickly. Kids are resilient. Pretty much guaranteed. 10, 15 minutes after a game, you've got a couple of kids at least chatting away in the back of the car when they were driving back from a game. Within 5 minutes, they're asking out what's for dinner. Can we stop at McDonald's? Are we going to play on the Xbox? Who's playing this afternoon? Who's on match of the day? Did you see this? Did you see that? It's gone. It's the parents that often remember the result more than anything else. Kids bounce back very, very quickly. So if they're having fun, if they're enjoying their football, that's all you can ask. Occasionally you will get a special player, someone with a bit of ability, and they probably will get poached by a better team or a professional club. And again, that's happened, and you want that, you want to encourage that. And then at some point they're likely to get rejected, and they'll have to come back into your team. and that's difficult for them and difficult for yourselves. Used to certain standards, whatever. But again, it's part of life, and I see you coaches as almost an extension of parents, if you like. But for those 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, whatever you've got those kids for, you're their mentors. You're their parents. You're teaching them not just about football, life skills, right and wrongs, discipline, teamwork, all those different things. And that's why I think football youth coaches are very undervalued, and it's a big, big problem. Something that we have looked at with the commission stuff that we need to address seriously. Because I think if you're not appreciated, you get fed up, and eventually you give up. And we don't want that. We can't have that in this country for successful youth leagues and the progression of the future. There's nothing better when you go to a big park and you see just hundreds of kids actually playing. It's great to see, all different levels, whatever it may be. So, but again, just reiterate, thank you all, for taking the time, the effort that you put in, finances involved as well. It's never easy. But you people are the future of the game, the future of your kids. Depends on you. You can put so much into those kids in that 2, 4, 6 hours, whatever it may be that you have them over the course of the week. And because it's football, they're more likely to listen to you than maybe their parents, and they're more likely to listen to you than some of their teachers. So I think don't underestimate how important that your role is in not just their football education, but their life education as well. So just think about some of those things when you're going through the workshops, and just remember, it's about the kids. And ask the kids sometimes what they want, how they feel about it, and try and look at it sometimes through a kid's perspective rather than another perspective. And it might just change one or two things that we do. Thank you.